But first, it doesn't matter whether you're deaf, hard of hearing, deafened, oral, or a sign language user. We all have one skill in common: lip reading. We will be taking an in-depth look at the art of lip reading and have invited members of the audience to take part in our tests to see if they've got what it takes to read people's lips. We've seen lip reading as a story device in films and television, and also in newspaper headlines connected with footballers, the royal family, and more. But what exactly is lip reading, and how does it work?
Professor Ruth Campbell has spent many years studying lip reading.
It's more accurate to call it speech reading because, in fact, it's not just the lips that are informative. Where people are looking and how they hold their body, all of that can come into understanding what's being said when a talker is talking. But it's using just the visual aspect of the talker. Everybody uses lip reading. Hearing people, hard of hearing people, deafened people, babies, lip read. Well, they might not be able to understand what they lip read, but they watch speakers' mouths and that affects what they hear. Even monkeys lip read, if you like, because monkeys that live in groups quite often recognise each other as individuals and recognise each other's calls and are sensitive to different types of call that use different types of face shape. And it's been found that they can discriminate between those face shapes that tend to go along with particular calls.
In the world of film and television, lip reading is incredibly accurate. In the film Mission Impossible 3, the character that Tom Cruise plays has the ability to lip read, which is central to the plot.
And gets on the chopper that takes off from the lake. What was the name of that lake? Like,
Like Wanaka. Wanaka.
Thank you. He heard that? How did he hear that? And the hospital's cool if he's taking 3 weeks?
In the television series The Killing, the main character, Sarah Lund, finds a deaf person who is a skilled lip reader to help her translate some CCTV footage.
Hun skal hente noget, hun har glemt. Men han vil ikke give hende nøglen alligevel. Og hun vil ikke have, at han skal med. Hun siger nemlig, at jeg har fortalt dig, det er forbi.
Most deaf people who rely on lip reading themselves would admit that it's not as easy as it looks on television and in the movies. So how easy is accurate lip reading in the real world?
It depends hugely on the talker, the person you're looking at, how familiar you are with them, how familiar you are with their style of speaking, the context in which they're speaking, as well as what they're actually doing with their mouth and how visible that is.
Right, I'll put these on.
Okay.
Fine.
Hey, you comfortable?
I am.
Okay.
I think this might be I like women very much.
You fell just right into it. I actually said I love swimming very much.
Depending on how predictable the speech context is, you can maybe lip read 30 to 50% of a conversation.
Even with question marks over the reliability of lip reading, there are a number of deaf people who work as professional speech readers. Their work can include lip reading what's being said on the balcony at a royal wedding, or giving evidence in court cases, such as the trial of footballer John Terry, who was recently accused of using racist language on the pitch. The evidence given by one professional lip reader, Jessica Rees, was instrumental in court cases involving serious crimes such as murder and arson.
She was really the dominant forensic lip reader. Without her, there wouldn't be forensic speech reading in the UK. But about 5 years ago, she was found to be an unreliable witness, and her evidence was deemed to be unreliable. And that meant that quite a number of really very high-profile and important cases essentially unravelled, and there had to be retrials in some cases. So the business of forensic lip reading has to be handled with great caution.
We decided to run our own lip reading test and invited 4 people to come along and test their skills with us, under what I should say are not scientific conditions. Here are our contestants.
I don't really know much about lip reading. I've never really thought about it. I'm aware that there are people out there that have to do it, but it's not something I've ever really thought about. I imagine there's quite a skill to lip reading, and it's something that you probably develop over time. I imagine it's something that when you try it for the first time, you might not be that good at it.
Around about the middle 2000s, I began to experience hearing loss. I think I have been unconsciously lip reading for years, but I haven't been formally trained.
At university with my deaf friends, I signed, but with hearing people I had to lip read. I was exposed to a hearing environment where I had to lip read more and more, so became skilled at it. I have not been formally taught, but I have acquired the skill.
I have been a professional lip reader for about 7 years and do lip reading for the police, for private investigators, for people that want private work done. So as you build more experience, you become more confident as a professional lip reader.
All of you at home, don't just sit there. Get involved and play along. Grab a pen and paper and get ready. The first test will involve our 4 audience members who've been invited to take part in an assessment of their ability to understand 12 words and phrases, repeated twice each, without sound. See how many you can get, and see how our contestants do.
Next, we showed our contestants a silent clip of 2 people talking in a car park. They were given 5 minutes to transcribe it. The test is now over, and all 4 of our contestants found it hard going.
Oh dear. Normally, when you lip read, you're not as focused. It's more relaxed. As this is a test, you're much more focused. It's different and probably harder because you're concentrating more compared to lip reading in normal conversation.
It was a lot more difficult than I thought. I did feel very much that I was guessing.
Now it's time to find out the answers to our tests.
So for 1, allow, an hour, so the vowels are the same or similar. And if you have a look, I'll say an hour, then I'll say allow. It's very hard to tell the difference.
The second one, just extraordinary, because I got mess and it was pat.
My gut told me it was 14, but I put 40.
And what about the CCTV clip? None of our contestants realised they were talking about a car in the video.
So, when was it last taxed?
It was last taxed in July.
Fair enough. How about the MOT?
It was done 2 months ago.
Right, so you got all the paperwork, yeah, and everything?
Got all the paperwork for you.
Cool. How about money-wise? What do you want for it?
I want £10,000.
10?
10.
So, but, you know, what's the mileage for that then?
£5,000.
5,000?
5,000 miles.
Fair enough, alright. With 10, you can't work on that?
Or maybe 9.
Oh, that's a bit much, I think, mate. Sorry. No, sorry.
What?
I thought he was talking about a boy, his son, or a child of some description. Extraordinary.
This first one says, when was it last taxed? I put, when was the last text? That threw me. And then I thought they started talking about immigrants.
The only people to write a partial transcript were Tina and Stephen.
It was really difficult. It was much more difficult than I was expecting. I thought I would at least be able to get the general gist of what people were saying and that I would probably be able to make out most words, but on the contrary, I struggled to get any words.
That was difficult, but when you do forensic lip reading like this, it's always difficult. You will never ever be given work and expect to get it the first time.
Now the final results in reverse order. In third and last place, Samuel. In second place, William. And in joint first place, Tina and Stephen.
So, what have we learned? We know that people who are born deaf and grow up lip reading become highly skilled and can potentially turn it into a career. But there is a problem.
Well, there aren't any formal qualifications. There aren't yet any available tests that are really appropriate for testing forensic speech reading. Now, that means it's a wide open field. If somebody performs well on your lip reading test, There's nothing to stop themselves putting themselves out there on the web as an expert speech reader.
If you took part in today's lip reading test and you feel you are an exceptional lip reader, then please let us know at bbc.co.uk/see here. It just goes to show what a range of skills we use when lip reading, and how important the right skills are for forensic work. Now, at the end of 2012, the deaf community was shocked and saddened to lose one of its most popular figures. Hal Draper was a founding member of the Deaf Comedians Group and an accomplished film and television actor. We took a look back at his life through the eyes of those who loved him and knew him best, and we found out he also has many other sides to his remarkable life.
He was a fantastic bloke.
Caring, good heart, and funny, of course.
He never complained or brought problems on set. He always lifted the atmosphere. A truly unique person.
He was a very serious and private person as well. Many only knew one side of him, the mischievous joker, but there was another side to him, and that's what made him who he was.
Hal was born Harold Draper in Chorley, Lancashire in 1951. He came from a large hearing family and had 6 brothers and 5 sisters. At the age of 10, Hal lost his hearing after about